Welcome back to another episode of Inboxing. It's another one of those episodes sponsored by Kombai, where I'm reviewing emails with fantastic people around the email marketing community. Today I have a very special guest from Action Rocket, one of my favorite design and execution agencies in the world. I've been partnering with them a lot in the last 5 years, really. But Ben is our newest guest. I've had a lot of great guests from Action Rocket, and today is senior designer Ben Clay, I believe it is. Oh, should do my research. But he's designed some of the most for some of the most iconic brands in the world, really, and certainly in the UK. And we'll look at three of them and pick them apart and have a great time doing it. So without any further ado, please welcome Ben Clay.
This episode is brought to you by Kombai. As an agency owner, I'm always looking for tools that can help me scale revenue without adding to my costs. Some of the most effective tools for me, personally, have allowed me to build new service lines. With Kombai for email, we can convert email designs to code that works even on Outlook, all in a single click. I tested it on some of the designs we covered on this podcast, and the results are truly amazing. Code generations happens in one click, download in another. Preview these emails across different screens and send yourself a test email directly using the tool. Oh, and you'll also get notified about code compatibility issues right inside Figma. Brilliant, isn't it? The tool also lets you customize responsive behavior for mobile screens with fluid and stacking settings to ensure a viewing experience just as you intended. So if you want to create a new service line as an agency owner or save time as an email developer, try Kombai for email today.
It is Clay, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely spot on. Hello.
All right, thank you.
Thanks for such a warming introduction as well. I think I've never experienced such an introduction. So,
Well, for sure. I mean, it's spot on, is it not? You are designing for some of the biggest brands in the UK. Is that not right?
And yeah, of course, your kind words about Action Rocket. I think
Yeah. No, I'm a huge fan of everyone there. Really, Jay and what is the CEO's name or the founder?
Yeah,
is
definitely met Elliot.
Elliot, yes. I was thinking E. I was like, Eric. It's not Eric. It's definitely not Eric. Elliot, yes, Elliot. Yeah, Elliot is so kind. He was so kind to me when I was up and coming. Just looking for advice. I mean, he, gave me I think an hour of his time, just because out of kindness. He didn't pay me anything for it. So really big fan, and yeah, so great to be working with you and checking out some of these greatest emails of 2023.
Yeah, no, looking forward to talking you through them. Yeah, like you say, we cover a lot of different brands, a lot of big brands, small brands. So yeah, we're constantly kind of looking at different types of work and different brands, which keeps I guess things a bit alive when you're working with lots of different brands. So yeah,
for sure.
Excited to talk to you guys about a few of them.
All right, well, let's jump in. And the first one that we're looking up is from BBC's Bluey, which I'm about to share it, but I'm actually the target audience. I mean, because kids don't generally have email, and if you don't know, Bluey is a kids show. I have a 3-year-old, so I'm the prime audience. But I've never actually seen Bluey. I don't think my son has seen Bluey because we're not in the UK and we're not in the United States either. But I know it is a thing here, and I'm sure a lot of kids are watching it with YouTube and everything that's available today. Sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Ben. What were you about to say?
No, I was going to say it's an Australian production.
Okay. I didn't know that.
it blew up in the UK, I think maybe a few years ago. And what I didn't realise about Bluey is it's quite heavily targeted to an adult audience, and they've got quite a big following that is adult. In fact, Jay, who you've already met, Jay Oram, him and his wife are a huge. They've got a small little girl, Sophie, and the whole family are huge fans. So of course, when this campaign came round, Jay was kind of, you know, his
going wild.
He was, he made sure that he was fully involved in the campaign.
Oh, I'm glad you filled me in on that because I had no idea. I thought it was like, I was thinking like Peppa Pig, in that direction. But
there's a lot of like hidden kind of like adult
humor,
bits and bobs and humor. One thing I did learn, and when you see the email, you'll see there's a character called Long Dog.
Let's jump in. Let's just open it up because we're like, talk about it forever. But let's just jump in, take a look, and we'll move from there.
Yeah, sure.
Bluey. Okay, cool. Oh, so there's a lot of interactive elements. That's the first thing.
Yeah. Do you know what? We do a lot. I mean, as you guys know, we do a lot of work with the BBC, and the BBC are great at kind of letting us just push the boundaries and kind of be as disruptive as possible. And they're one of those clients where we work very kind of well together, like sort of simultaneously. There's a lot of brainstorming. We work very kind of closely with their CRM team. We've got a really good relationship with them. And when it comes to specific campaigns like Bluey, for example, we work very closely with that specific brand's digital team. So in this case, obviously the Bluey digital team. And there's a lot of great collaboration, and it just works really well. So the idea for this campaign was it was a specific episode. So there was going to be a wedding. Nobody knew who, and there was a big kind of hype as to who it was going to be. And the idea of this campaign was to invite Bluey fans to the wedding, essentially. So you click on the invite.
Whoa! Yeah, very cool.
Those are fun confetti.
Very fun confetti. Yeah, very cool.
We like to use After Effects as much as possible when it comes to animation, because it allows us to kind of bring an extra kind of, I guess, dimension to any kind of like movement in email. So that's where that confetti came from. So
it was really good confetti because like it really gave a three-dimensional feeling to it. Like some things were like bigger in your face, and some things were
Exactly. So yes, this was the invite. The idea was it was stuck onto a fridge background. You've got all the kind of magnets in the background, and then we had things like pick your meal preferences, and the reader can kind of vote on those. We had a countdown to the actual wedding itself. And I know I mentioned Long Dog, the character, earlier. If you scroll to the top, there is a Long Dog fridge magnet on the right-hand side, the little blue and purple guy.
This one?
Yes, so that is Long Dog. So what the Bluey team are very good at is they hide Long Dogs in episodes. And it can be as obscure as something like they'll turn an apple into a long dog. And this is where a lot of the kind of adult-themed, I guess, interest comes from, because adults will spend hours trying to find long dog. And there's become a huge community that kind of do this. So that's a real kind of fun insight into what.
Right, like you're hiding an Easter egg of Long Dog somewhere in this email. Like that was.
Exactly. So this was we always love working with the BBC CRM team, and off the back of that, we get to create some really kind of cool, engaging, usually always interactive kind of emails for them.
Yeah, man, that is amazing that all this opened up from that one click. Like the original email wasn't this long; it was long.
Yeah, this is it.
And then you have a lot of CTAs here, right? Like you have, this links to YouTube, I imagine, or to actually you can watch their trailer.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna.
It's
put on right now.
It's super engaging. In fact, my goddaughter, she's 3, she's a huge Bluey fan, and the team actually sent her a personalised version of this email, which she absolutely loved it. And of course, she can kind of engage with it, her meal preferences and watch the video, and it kept her occupied for kind of for hours.
Right. Yeah, no, there's so much here. Right. Like, yeah. I wonder, and if I don't want to click out of the email, like, are there other elements to click that will be here? Or?
Yeah, you can meet all the characters and.
Right. No, but everything, the only interactive element really was just the original click, which opened the whole thing up. But then everything else is clicking off the page, right?
Original click, and then you can vote for your meal preference up or down, and that kind of shows you who's kind of voted for what. I mean, the level of choice meal wise isn't great. I think it's like wasabi peas and a few other weird things.
It's wild. Like even the fridge is on like a purple, and
yes.
then there's like a gradient almost, or no, it's solid color, but it's pretty cool.
We created a whole kind of scene. I mean, we always try and I guess create a kind of like a narrative, if that kind of makes sense. So you have this whole kind of story about you're being invited to the wedding invite's been put on the fridge, and you create this whole kind of scene. It just makes it as engaging as possible for whoever's kind of reading it.
Yeah, no, and if this wedding was like a it was timely.
Yeah.
Like everyone was talking about this wedding, or they knew something was going on, and then they got an email, you're invited.
Yeah,
and this is what they see. This is like, like amazing.
Honestly,
amazing content.
I had no idea how big Bluey was until I kind of worked on this campaign. I had no idea. I don't think I'd even heard of Bluey really before working.
Okay, I'm glad I don't. Not the only person who's like.
Yeah, we must both live under a rock.
Yeah, my kid's really into Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood. Like that's the.
Oh, fine. Okay. Yeah.
That's the go. That's the one of choice.
Yeah. Well, we may do an email based on that show at some point.
Right. Yeah. Who knows? But I just in general that like my kid, like I can imagine my kid was a Bluey fan, or if Daniel Tiger sent him an email with like this is so cool.
Yeah.
That the show can interact with their audience in such a deep way, like in their inbox.
Yeah.
With all this content, it's awesome and really a spectacular job. Like the whole concept of it and the execution of it, it's like really amazing.
Yeah, great, thank
like
you.
Even the way like you have these different levels of elements, like this is with the drop shadow and these are flush against the fridge. It's like really, really cool stuff. And
I think with these kind of emails now, my hat always goes off to our kind of dev team, because I mean, as I'm a creative, so I kind of take something, I'll create something wild, and I'll go to the dev team and say, look,
can you do this? Is this achievable?
Yeah, and they will always, they never say no. They always say yes. And they'll always come up with a solution to do it. So, we've got such an amazing development team, obviously led by Jay, who you've met. But yeah, my shout out to them for sure.
Yeah, no, that is absolutely awesome, amazing. Wow, so thank you for sharing for that one. That was fabulous. All right, let's jump into the next one.
Sure, yeah.
So it's Nespresso. It's interesting. It's totally white. Like it's very, visually, it's very, logo arise. We are now a coffee nation.
Yes. So as a brand, I mean, we've been with Nespresso, worked with Nespresso for, well before my time, and I've been with Action Rocket for 6 years.
Oh wow! I didn't realize you've been here that long.
Yeah. So yeah, Nespresso a great example of a relationship we've just kind of built up over the years. We do a lot of work with them. And as a brand, they're a very clean, premium looking kind of brand. We do some great stuff with them. This was actually a UK piece of work that we did, and it was to celebrate the Jubilee. Welcome to the King, essentially. And
right, right. The coronation.
exactly, yes, the coronation. And yeah, I mean, obviously it was a huge kind of event, and I'm sure pretty much every single brand in the UK would have jumped on the bandwagon for sure. But Nespresso did a great campaign where they kind of launched what they called the Jewels of Nespresso collection. So it's like a limited edition collection. And to talk about the products, we had hotspots, which you could click on and just explore a bit more about that product.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool to do that in an email, hats off again to the dev team.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yeah. It's actually a module that we've implemented into their EDS that we tend to try and use as much as possible.
Yeah, no, because it's great. I mean, I get, like, because you have one picture, and then you click an item and it opens that up and details, and it's a great module. I'll speak to Jay. Get added to our campaign.
It's such a good way of condensing a lot of information into a small space, right? Unless you have the fallback, but if it's working, then you're allowed all this kind of information into one small space, and it engages the reader. Gets them to kind of interact with the product.
Right, and they're trying to sell these timely coronation event items, right? And
we had a huge brainstorming session with the Nespresso team, and of course, one thing the British are good at are tea parties. And when it comes to coronations and the royals, it's something we tend to kind of, I guess, relate to those kind of celebrations. So the idea was to kind of, I guess, replicate that kind of scene, a tea party, which usually would be tea, but of course in this case, we're talking about coffee.
Right.
The team did a great job of kind of, creating these scenes, and had some great imagery kind of created specifically for this campaign.
Right. Do you know if this is this a render? I mean, or is this like a shot they set up and?
Yeah, from the photo shoot they had done.
Oh wow! So that's really cool. Also about working with like big brands, you get very good assets to work with.
Exactly. And the best part about this email, if you just scroll down a little bit, and again, this is hats off to the dev team. To the next part, this block here. So the idea here was it allows the customer to plan their party. So there's two drop downs which allows you to pick between, I think, 4 or 5 different groups.
Yeah, less than 6, it's a 12. Yeah, up to 24.
Exactly.
Up to more than 24. Yeah.
So how many people are coming to your party? You pick your category here, and then you pick what kind of blend.
Oh, wow.
What kind of flavor do you like? Based on your choices, you can then click and have a recommendation.
Oh, very cool. 3 sleeves of Skuro.
Yeah.
It's these 2 cups of coffee in the course of the day.
That's the one.
Very cool.
Gets the party started. The Skuro.
Very, very cool.
So that was great. We did that all ourselves. The dev team built that, which was again.
Right, that's there.
You're saying it, but hats off to the coders always.
Yeah, very cool. Oh, I wonder if this was. Do you know? Was this like a ticking kind of thing, or?
No. So how this worked, Hillel, was throughout. I think we did maybe 5 emails for the launch, and at each stage, the crown would kind of move along as you got closer to the coronation.
For the date.
yeah, so it's
Right.
kind of a static visual kind of thing that we.
Yeah, and I love the royal purple.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know if they call it royal purple. There must be a better word for that. No.
I know. It's good.
That's it. Very, very cool. And jump to the last one. Okay, the last one looks like it's going to be a fun one too.
This is my favorite coming up.
All right.
You saved the best.
Sometimes we save the best for last, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. All right.
Yes.
Wish I could get that to hide, but maybe I just. Okay. Oh, good. I did. All right, cool. So yeah, I guess this is. It's just sports in general. Like we're not seeing one sport. It's all of Sky Sports.
Yes. So this was Sky Sports reached out to us and they wanted to create a win back campaign where they kind of approached customers that they already knew about, already had data about, but they'd left Sky Sports. And the idea was to kind of talk to them about resubscribing, essentially. So we took all of their data, which they had, an absolute ton of, which we love, right? As marketers, as soon as you've got a load of data on customers, then you can be, super personalized. And I think that's so important when you're talking to a customer. Is from a brand perspective, is you want that customer to feel, I guess, special. You want to think the brand really knows you. So the more you can personalize, the more you can kind of be specific with your kind of messaging and your targeting. So that's the approach we took here, and we took that data and we broke it down into kind of visual references. So if you kind of scroll down a little bit, Hillel, you'll see what I mean.
So, nice. All right.
So yes, we had all this info. We had, what was their favorite team, how many matches had they watched, who was their, favorite player, how many goals that player had scored. We had all this, kind of deep.
Oh wow! So there was a lot of personalization that went into it.
Yeah, it was so personalized. So we could include their favorite player. We could include the different sports that they specifically watch in kind of like order of preference. And it was such a successful campaign, and I'm a massive sports fan. So as soon as this came up, I was like, right, get me on that. So we had a lot of fun on this one. It's actually another thing to probably mention is I know we talked very briefly about Action Rocket earlier, but one thing they are great at doing is kind of looking at everyone's hobbies and interests, and if specific brands do come up where someone has an interest in, then they'll be put on that campaign. So it's always that much more enjoyable when you've got a passion, I guess, for
right. Yeah, for sure.
certain things. I mean, I spend a lot of time playing and watching sports, so this was kind of my bread and butter, so to speak. Yeah, it was a really. So
you had a really good time with this, and then saying it worked beautifully. Like they got a very nice return on this email.
Yeah. I mean, this almost wasn't a job for me, Hillel. This was more just like a hobby, just doing something that I enjoy.
Right.
So yeah, absolutely loved that, and we did some cool stuff in the hero with. We took a load of the videos they sent over, and created like a mishmash of, like you said, different sports that we show in the hero section, and we did some cool stuff with the logo as well at the top.
Yeah, no, very, very cool. Yeah, let's see. Very cool. Did you put this together? This like reel? This GIF? Or like they did you tell them what to put together? Or this was something they had? Like how did this come together?
So we essentially we had all of the different sports videos individually. So we kind of
mashed them up.
mashed them together, and then we created the animation for the header kind of shooting in. Just to kind of, I mean, it's sports, right? So the more kind of movement we can create, the better, because it's, you know, it's all about fast paced kind of.
Yeah, for sure, and like, yeah, I mean, like last episode I did with Emily Ryan, like one of the first emails we saw was I think it was Acura or one of those car brands, but they had a similar, like, you know, the car they were trying to pre-sell, or, you know, it was zooming. It was like a, you know, also similar, like, this looks like it might be a little longer. Their clip was maybe like 2 seconds, but it was like so much happening in 2 seconds. Like this car was like zooming down the road, and, you know, like, so here also you got a lot happening in a very short window.
And of course, as you'll know, when it comes to creating, I guess, GIFs like this with so much in, is trying to keep the size down, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Practice purposes. So that's always a challenge for us, but, you know, we love challenges, so
right.
it's always fun.
I think you did a better job. I think you're more conscious than I. Like Acura, it was a very high, you know, high res GIF. Yeah, like their GIF I think was like 4 or 5 megabytes. I don't think this is that. I think this might be longer, but you could tell that it's not. Yeah, I'm not going to download it. I don't want to embarrass anyone. But,
yeah. So
but it looks to me like it's probably much more reasonable, you know, between like 1 and 2 GIF, 2 megabytes, I'd imagine.
We set ourselves a limit of.
Let's see. I'm doing it. I'm
Go on.
gonna find out what we got. It's less than 2 gigabytes, less than 2 megabytes. It's 1.824. There you go.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
I knew it. You guys are much more conscious about it. You know, the worst thing, especially Elliot, you know, he's like Mr. Accessibility. So, like, if you have to wait 10 minutes to see this, like, or wait even like more than 2-3 seconds, you know, then you've lost them.
Exactly that. Exactly.
So yeah, and this stuff is gold, you know, and you work with a brand that can give you all this data. And really say, like, this is why you should sign up, because you spent 20 million hours watching when you were lead registered, which could be the reason why they quit in the first place. But
an obscene amount.
Exactly, I'm wasting my life. I can't do this. But yeah, great job, great execution.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. You know, it's such a joy to be able to see the work you guys are doing. And, you know, we saw three very different emails, which is also fun.
Yeah.
Right? We had Bluey, which was just awesome to see this, like, you know, children's cartoon come to life in an inbox, interacting with their audience. It's just like so gold, and also just from design perspective, from the execution perspective, like all around. So well done. And then Carnation, just even making the most out of Nespresso email, you know, just like, it could be so simple. Like they're not asking for anything high tech, you know, like they just want a beautiful design, something simple to really highlight their thing. And you did also awesome execution with their party planner built in, and, you know, and I don't know what you call those, you know, the widgets, or whatever you want to call it, when you click and it opens up. But that's really, really awesome. It's a great tool. And I'd love to be able to do that with any of my clients. I mean, the truth is, I actually just started full time with a new company.
How's that all going?
It's going well. It's really nice to be in an office with other people.
Sure.
And it's a really nice company, like really great people in the office. It's a great environment, but it's a whole learning curve because it's restaurant supply.
Okay.
So it's like 400,000 SKUs. You know, like it's not like, and it's funny because I work with brands that have like 2 or 3 products. You know, like it's a very different thing, and learning the market and how to segment their audiences and stuff, and everything is sort of siloed. There's so much work to do there. It's a big challenge, but I'm on it. So Thank God for that. Well, thanks for joining me, Ben. It's been awesome. Really has. It's great to get to know you a little bit and see the awesome work you guys are doing. So looking forward to putting this out hopefully on Monday, and that's it.
Yeah, no, it's been an absolute pleasure, mate. So yeah, thanks for having me on.
Really appreciate it. All right, cheers.
Yeah, enjoy your weekend.
So that's our show for today. Thank you, Kombai, for sponsoring the episode, and look out for our final finale of our Modi episodes, courtesy of Kombai, the amazing tool to turn email design into HTML code with one click.